Hello guys, welcome to i-tutor Academy. In today's session, we will start with the subsection of Unit 1 MMPC 005, that is editing primary data. Once the questionnaire have been filled and the data collected, it is necessary to edit this data. Editing of data should be done to ensure completeness, consistency, accuracy and homogeneity. Completeness. Each questionnaire should be complete in all respect. The respondent should have answered each and every question. If some important questions have been left unanswered, attempts should be made to contact the respondent and get the response. Consistency. The questionnaire should also be checked to see that there are no contradictory answers. Contradictory responses might arise due to wrong answers filled up by the respondent or because of carelessness on the part of the investigator in recording the data. And accuracy. The questionnaire should also be checked for the accuracy of information provided by the respondent. Homogeneity. It is equally important to check whether the question have been understood in the same sense by all the respondent. For instance, if there is a question on income, it should be very clearly stated whether it refers to weekly, monthly or yearly income. And the next is sources of secondary data. The sources of secondary data may be divided into two broad categories: published and unpublished. Published sources, there are number of national and international organizations which collect statistical data and publish their finding in statistical reports periodically. Some of the national organizations which collect, compile and publish statistical data are Central Statistical Organization, National Sample Survey Organization, Office of the Registrar General and Census Commissioner of India, Labour Bureau, Federation of Indian Chamber of Commerce, Commerce and Industry, the Indian Council of Agricultural Research, etc. And unpublished sources are all statistical data need to be published. A major sources of statistical data produced by government, semi-government, private and public organization is based on the data drawn from internal records. This data based on internal record provided authentic statistical data and is much cheaper as compared to primary data. And next is precaution in the use of secondary data. A careful scrutiny must be made before using published data. The user should be extra caution in using secondary data and he should not accept it as at its face value. Suitability. The investigator must ensure that the data available is suitable for this purpose of the inquiry on hand. And reliability. It is of utmost importance to determine how reliable is the data from secondary sources and how confidently we can use it. And assessing the reliability, it is important to know whether the collecting agency is unbiased, whether it has a representative sample, the data whether has been properly analyzed, so on. And adequacy. Data from secondary sources may be available but its scope may be limited and therefore this may not serve the purpose of investigation. And census and sample. When secondary data is not available for the problem under study, a decision may be taken to collect primary data through original investigation. This original investigation may be obtained either by census method or sampling method. In both the situation, the investigator is interested in studying some characteristics of the population. The advantages of the census method is that information about every item in the population can be obtained. Also, the information collected is more accurate. The main limitation of the census method are that it required a great deal of money and time. Moreover, in certain practical situation of quality control, such as finding the tensile strength of a steel specimen by stretching it till it break, is not even physically possible to check each and every item, because quality testing result in the destruction of the item itself. It should be not that out of the census and the sampling method. The sampling method is much more widely used in practice. There are several methods of sampling which would be discussed in detail in the Unit 13 on sampling method. Okay, and the summary is here of this unit 1. Statistical data is set of fact expressed in quantitative form. The use of fact expressed as measurable quantities can help the decision maker to arrive at a better decision. Data can be obtained through primary sources or secondary sources. When the data is collected by the investigator himself, it is called primary data. When the data has been collected by others, it is known as secondary data. And keywords are here. If you feel any words are difficult, you just refer this area. And self-assessment questions also here. So it's 9 questions are there from this chapter. Distinguish between primary and secondary data. Discuss the various methods of collecting primary data. Indicate the situation in which of these methods should be used. Discuss the validity of the statement. A secondary source is not as reliable as primary source. Discuss the various sources of secondary data. Point out the precautions to be taken while using such a data, and describe briefly the questionnaire method of collecting primary data. State the essentials of a good questionnaire and explain what precaution must be taken while drafting a useful questionnaire. As the personnel manager in a particular industry, you are asked to determine the effect of increased wages on output and draft a suitable questionnaire for this purpose. If you were to conduct a survey regarding smoking habits among students of IGNOU, what method of data collection would you adopt, and give reason for your choice? Okay, so this is a syllabus question, but out of it's not out of syllabus, but it's based on our data only. Distinguish between the census and sampling method of data collection and compare their merit and demerit. Why is sampling method unavoidable in certain situation? Explain the terms population and sample. Explain why it is sometimes necessary and often desirable to collect information about the population by conducting a sample survey instead of complete enumeration. Okay, so this is about unit 1. Any doubt on MMBC 001 unit 1, 005 unit 1, then you just contact us. And for more IGNOU MBA videos, you just do like, share and subscribe our channel. And in any doubt, in any time, you can contact us. Thank you so much.
i-tutor Academy presents IGNOU MBA complete syllabus coverage classes for individual students, semester-wise subject with online and flexible timing. For more details, contact on +916 238 21785.